It's actually a fun process, this one, especially when you're doing a 3D piece. This is the first piece that I'm going to gold leaf. It is a little Nandi with a lot of curves. I think the material is some kind of stone, mud kind of situation and pretty beat up. The very first thing to do, however, is to clean it thoroughly. I'm using a cotton cloth and removing the dust. In case your piece is too dirty, then you can actually hose it down and wipe it. It works perfectly fine for mud, stone, any of those kinds. This is the gold leaf and the gilding glue that I ordered from Amazon. It looks pretty shady, but it sort of worked out and I wasn't really sure about it the first time. But you'll see. So this is how it looks. It is like a really thin gauge gold leaf. You can see it has a little bit of texture. You cannot handle it with your fingers. It's gonna stick. I'm taking a little bit of gilding glue in a box that I can shut and store away. And using a brush, I'm going to apply a thin coat all over. In case your piece has a lot of texture, then make sure that you get into those grooves because you want the glue everywhere, you want the gold everywhere. So just push your glue into those crevices. You only need a thin layer of glue. Here it looks thick, but I'm going to spread it evenly across everywhere. And when you're doing a full piece, have a space where you don't put the glue so that you are able to handle the piece. Like the bottom rim, I haven't put the glue. I'm going to set this aside to dry to the touch for about 10 to 15 minutes while we work on the next piece. The next piece I have here is a wooden mermaid kind of situation, and this one I got at Dastakar in Bangalore. I don't think it is any great wood, but I thought it was a great piece made well. I plan to have the gold leaf go on the fish, maybe the earrings and the headband. So here I am again applying the glue. If at first it looks like a thick coat, then use the brush to simply even the glue out. I found that gold leafing is such a very gratifying process because there is no rushing it. You have to be slow. The glue has to be thin layered. The glue has to dry to the touch. You have to wait till the glue is ready and then you slowly put on the gold leaf. And the entire process is so calming and soothing that you feel so good once your piece is ready. A lot of people ask me about how and where I find these pieces that I DIY. The trick to that is always window shop. Even if you're not looking for something, just get in there and look around. What I really do is I go to all these fairs, stores, all of them, and then I look at what they have, and once in a while when I come across a piece that is great and is affordable, I buy it and keep it in my stash. Here we go, this is ready. You see the white glue has become transparent now. You touch it and it shouldn't stick to your finger, but it should be tacky. I'm going to take the gold leaf with the butter paper under it because you can't handle, and instead of putting the gold on the piece, I'm going to put the piece on the gold and position in such a way that I can wrap it and have the gold everywhere. So here, I think a single gold sheet is going to be sufficing for this piece. If you have even a tiny bit of glue on your fingertips, it's going to stick. You can see that little bit of gold leaf that's torn off, and it doesn't come off until you wash your fingers. So here I am using a brush to just press the gold leaf down and just get into those little details. If you see, you can slowly start to see those details come out. And because I didn't put glue on the bottom rim, I'm able to handle this piece without having a lot of glue stick to my fingers or my fingers sticking to the piece itself. You can always reposition the bits into places where there is no gold leaf. If you see on top of the Nandi's hump, there's a little bit of gap, and the one that is on my finger, I'm just going to stick there and push it in place. It's actually a fun process, this one, especially when you're doing a 3D piece. If it's just a flat surface, it works perfectly fine, but when you're doing 3D, it's fun. You can again see a little bit of gap there on the shoulder, so I'm going to break off the piece at the bottom and reposition it there because there's glue already there, and then just push it in place. Now there is a good chance that in some very few places or very thin line there is no gold. So the dust that you see at the bottom is going to be used for that. You can see that since I have some glue on my hand, it's sticking and there's no way I can work. I have to go back and wash my hands and come back with clean hands and back to work. So yes, the dust that you see that's coming off as excess can always be pushed in places where it's left off. And since this piece is let's say 3D and has a lot of details, I'm pushing the gold in places so that the details come out. You can already see the eyes of the Nandi are well defined, the jewelry around the neck and all of that. And the gaps where there's no glue, or rather where there's no gold, I'm just going to use these bits, sprinkle on them and then just push it in place with my brush. If it's like a thin hairline, you can simply dab your brush on the gold powder and dab it in place. If you see, I just did that. I didn't place any gold on that big crack, but it somehow covered because of the gold dust that was on my brush. And that's all you do. Continue to tap until you have covered it all, and then you have to set it aside for at least an hour before you brush off the excess. You can already visualize how beautiful this is going to be once the excess is off and the rest of the gold is covered. I'm also going to do the gold on the bottom rim. Right now, I'm just going to set it aside to dry and move on to the next piece. Now this one's ready. The one in the crevices is not dried yet, but I'm not going to wait for it to dry because otherwise I will lose the tackiness of the surface. So I'm just going to let that be, and we will continue with applying the gold leaf on this one. When I'm doing a small piece, I feel me using applying the piece on top of the gold is much more easier than applying the gold around on the piece. So here I am holding the gold in the left hand, and then I will position the piece and then just roll it along the gold leaf. That looks good. And now use my brush to push it in place. As I push, you can see the details coming to life. That's why gold leafing is so satisfying. Now this piece did not need anything to be taped off because the boundaries were very clear. The one that you saw, which I shared on Instagram, needed to be taped off because I was doing sections which had some wood around them and they needed to be protected. Gold leaf has a beautiful texture when it is pushed against its glue. That's why it looks very beautiful, much more beautiful compared to just doing paint. So somebody wanted to know How is it different from paint the look wise? I'm going to paint a piece in gold and then gold leaf the another one of the same piece and tell you. Here I'm just pulling the excess and repositioning it, and you have to be really delicate. It sort of tears off easily and sticks easily to where there's glue, so just I think in the end I also did the bangles for this one because I thought there needed to be a little bit of glitter in between. It's a fairly beautiful process, and I'm so excited for gold leafing more because when I'm restoring old or antique furniture, there are a few places that you simply cannot restore DIY, which means in case there is a crack which I've filled, or there's some kind of ugliness that I want to hide in wood especially, I don't really have to go to an extent of, matching the stain and this and that. I can be a little tactful and cover it in gold and turn it into a design feature. I'm going to do a lot of that because the discovery of gold leaf has opened a lot of doors for me. So stay tuned. There's going to be a lot of vintage restoration. There's going to be a lot of antique restoration and a whole lot of fun here. I set it aside for about an hour to dry, and now I'm simply going to brush the excess off. The reason why I have the paper there is so that I can catch the dust. Sometimes when I work on these pieces, there is a certain plan that I decide that I want to do the tail and the earrings and the headgear, and once I leave it for an hour and come back, then I realize probably I should also do the bangles and the armband. So whenever you're DIYing something, don't have a rigid plan. Be flexible, because what you plan might look good, but adding a little bit more might look great. So here I am brushing off all of the excess with the same brush that I used to push it in place. And I realized I couldn't find my makeup brush, the blush one. This brush has a kind of a hard bristle. It's not the softest bristle, and it was fine for these projects because this one is on a very textured surface and on a surface that was not smooth anyways. So the brush that is adding more texture to it works well. But if I am going to do a very smooth, flat space, then I will definitely need a softer bristle brush like that of the makeup brush. So this brush was fine for now, but if you want a very smooth kind of texture, then I suggest you use the makeup brush, the blush applicator. I have shared a lot more details and the links to the products in my blog. You can go to preetiprabhu.com and find the blog post, or you can find the link to the blog post in this video. Inspecting this one, and I see a few gaps. If there is no glue, I'm going to reapply the glue in those places and then use my little bits from my paper and push it in place.